Level 1, Pretoria born. You are born in Pretoria, South Africa, 1971. Your father is an engineer. Your mother is a model and dietitian. The house is comfortable. The country is not. Apartheid is the law. Violence is the weather. You read everything. Not for school. For survival. By age 9 you have finished the school library. Then the public one. You move on to encyclopedias. You read them like novels. You are small. You are strange. You say exactly what you think, which is almost always the wrong thing to say. At 10, you buy a computer with birthday money. You teach yourself to code from a manual. 6 months of coursework. You finish it in 3 days. You sell your first video game at 12. Blaster. A space shooter. $40. No one around you knows what to do with you. That is their problem, not yours. The ones who can't be categorized don't fit in boxes. They build them. Level 2, the escape. You are 17. Your parents have divorced. Your father, Errol, is a man you will later describe in terms you rarely use for anyone. The house in Pretoria holds things you don't discuss. You decide to leave. Canada first. Then America. That is the plan. You arrive in Canada with almost nothing. You work on a farm. You cut logs. You clean boilers in a lumber mill, a job so toxic the hazmat crew charges $18 an hour. You take it for $18 an hour because you need the money. You enroll at Queen's University in Ontario. 2 years later, you transfer to the University of Pennsylvania on a scholarship. You study economics. Then physics. You finish both. You get into Stanford's PhD program for energy physics. You defer enrollment. You have 48 hours to decide what to do with your life. You never go back to Stanford. What you did in those 48 hours changed everything. The door to the future doesn't open on schedule. It opens when you kick it. Level 3, First Blood. You are 24. It is 1995. The internet is a rumor most people don't believe yet. You and your brother Kimball start a company called Zip2. A digital city guide. Basically Google Maps before Google Maps. You sleep in the office on a futon. You shower at the YMCA. You eat at Jack in the Box because it's cheap and close. For years. Compaq buys Zip2 for $307 million in cash. Your cut, $22 million. You are 27 years old, and you have more money than you know how to spend. Here is what you do. You put almost all of it into the next thing. That is the decision nobody talks about. Not the exit. The reinvestment. The refusal to stop. Most people at this level take the money, buy the house, slow down. You accelerate. The first win is not the destination. It is the fuel. Level 4, X marks the spot. You start X.com in 1999. An internet bank. Your pitch is simple and insane. Replace the entire financial system. PayPal emerges from a merger you didn't fully control. There's a boardroom coup. You're removed as CEO while on your honeymoon. eBay buys PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion. Your share, $180 million. You've now made serious money twice. 2 exits before 31. And you are already thinking about something else entirely. Something that has nothing to do with the internet. Here's what investigators, and your closest advisors, found out when they looked at your notes from 2001. You weren't writing business plans. You were writing rocket equations. When the scoreboard says you've won, that's when the dangerous ones reset it. Level 5, the insane bet. It is 2002. You are 31. You go to Russia to buy an ICBM. Not metaphorically. You fly to Moscow and try to buy a decommissioned Soviet intercontinental ballistic missile to launch a greenhouse to Mars. The Russians laugh at you. They quote you a price that is a rejection disguised as a number. You fly home. On the plane, you open a spreadsheet. You start calculating the cost of raw materials for a rocket. Aluminum, titanium, copper, carbon fiber. You calculate that the components are roughly 3% of a rocket's sticker price. The other 97% is manufacturing inefficiency, contractor markup, and institutional inertia. You think, I can build this. You found SpaceX. You invest $100 million of your personal money. You have $180 million total. That math is not a typo. Sanity is a consensus hallucination. The people who change things opted out of it. Level 6, 3 failures. Falcon 1 fails. First launch, 2006. Engine fire. 25 seconds into flight. Falcon 1 fails again. Second launch, 2007. Stage separation malfunction. Tumbles into the ocean. Falcon 1 fails a third time. 2008. The stages collide on separation. 3 satellites lost. Including one from NASA. Including one carrying the ashes of James Doohan, Scotty from Star Trek, who was supposed to reach orbit. You have enough money for one more launch. Tesla, which he joined as chairman in 2004 and took over as CEO in 2008, is running out of cash. The first Roadster is delayed. The company is hemorrhaging money. The financial crisis hits. Every investor says no. You are getting divorced. Your first child, Nevada, died of SIDS at 10 weeks old in 2002. It is the end of 2008. By every objective measure, you are finished. And here is what you do not do: you do not stop. The moment most people quit is usually one step before the floor holds. Level 7, the floor holds. December 2008. Falcon 1's fourth launch, clean separation, clean orbit. The first privately built liquid-fueled rocket to reach Earth orbit in history. 2 weeks later, NASA awards SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract. The same week, Tesla closes a funding round on Christmas Eve, the last possible day before bankruptcy. Elon personally borrows money from friends to make payroll. Both companies survive by hours. Not days. Hours. Within 18 months, SpaceX is delivering cargo to the International Space Station. Tesla releases the Model S to reviews that call it the best car ever built. The people who called you a fraud go quiet. Not forever. But for now. Survival is not the reward. Survival is the starting line. Level 8, the Empire. You are 40. Then 45. The Empire expands in directions that don't connect on any map anyone else is using. Solar City. Tesla Energy. The Boring Company. Neuralink. OpenAI, which you co-found, fund, then leave, then spend years attacking. The logic, if there is one, is vertical. Energy. Transport. Infrastructure. Cognition. You are not building companies. You are building the supply chain for a civilization that doesn't exist yet. Tesla becomes the most valuable car company in the world, worth more than Toyota, Volkswagen, and Ford combined, despite producing a fraction of the vehicles. SpaceX lands rockets on drone ships in the ocean. Reusability. Nobody thought it was possible. You make it look inevitable. Starlink launches thousands of satellites. Remote villages in Ukraine use it to coordinate military operations. That detail matters more than you say publicly. But something is shifting. The empire is enormous. And enormous things attract everything: admiration, envy, obsession, and enemies. Power doesn't change what you are. It removes what was hiding it. Level 9, the signal and the noise. You are 50. You buy Twitter for $44 billion. A price almost everyone, including people who like you, says is too high. You fire half the staff in 48 hours. You sleep in the office. You rename it X. Markets don't know what to make of you anymore. Tesla stock drops. Advertisers leave. Employees publicly revolt. Governments in multiple countries open investigations. And yet, X's traffic holds. SpaceX launches more rockets in a year than any entity in history. Starship, the largest rocket ever built, reaches orbit. You become the first person in history to accumulate a net worth exceeding $400 billion. Then the political era begins. You back a presidential campaign. You take a government role advising on efficiency. You become the most controversial person on the planet in a way that is qualitatively different from before. Less eccentric billionaire. More live wire running through every argument anyone is having. Something happens to you at this level that happened to very few people before you. You become the argument itself. What investigators, economists, and political scientists are still trying to figure out is whether what comes next is a feature or the beginning of the unraveling. When you become the symbol, you stop controlling what the symbol means. Level 10, the unfinished thing. You are 53 years old. You have 11 children by 3 women. You have started more consequential companies than almost any individual in history. And here is what you keep saying, in interviews, on posts, in the margins of your behavior. None of this is the point. The point is Mars. Not as metaphor. Not as brand. As an actual plan, with actual rockets, with actual timelines you have been moving towards since you read a Soviet missile manual on a plane in 2002. You have said plainly, humanity must become multiplanetary or it will end on this one. You have organized every dollar, every company, every decision around that single idea. Whether you are right about the timeline, the feasibility, the politics of who gets to go, those are open questions. The historians are still writing. But here is the thing about you that even your critics don't dispute. You did not inherit this. You built it. From a futon in Palo Alto. From a planet you left at 17. From a bet made on a plane with a spreadsheet and no permission from anyone. You came from Pretoria. You are going to Mars. And the gap between those 2 sentences is the whole story. You just watched a boy from Pretoria who ate at Jack in the Box and slept on a futon become the most powerful private individual in human history. But here is the question nobody is asking. What happens when the rockets actually land on Mars? Who owns it? Who governs it? Because Elon has already said publicly that Earth's laws do not apply there. SpaceX's terms of service literally state that Mars operations will be governed by self-governing principles, to be established. He is not building a company. He is building a jurisdiction. And you just watched how he operates when he controls the jurisdiction. So before you decide how you feel about the man, the genius, the chaos agent, the father of 11, the person sleeping on a server room floor at 50, ask yourself one thing. When the ship lands and the flag goes up, whose flag is it? That answer does not exist yet. Which means the most important level of being Elon Musk hasn't been written. If you think he's building humanity's future, comment one word: Mars. If you think he's building his own empire with humanity as the passenger, comment one word: colony. Watch the comments fill in real time. This split tells you everything about where we are right now. And if you want to watch the same format applied to the one man who might actually understand what Elon is doing, and why he's terrified of him, the next video is already waiting.